Hello, I'm Kevin. I'm going to be showing you guys a 1942 fleet carrier bombing run.
And my name is Dan Verson, and I will be helping out with the commentary.
Battle of Midway, 1942, the campaign special note, Japanese fleet carriers. If you destroy the fleet carrier target, gain +2 VPs and shuffle the card back into the target deck instead of removing it from the game.
This represents the fact that the Japanese had 4 fleet carriers there, and the primary mission of the U.S. was to take out those carriers and stop the Japanese expansion in the Pacific.
So, we start off, we have the fleet carrier card. We have 2 sites in each approach area, as well as 2 sites in the center area. We have a no site that can be removed, as well as we drew 3 bandits. For Battle of Midway, only A6M2 bandits will appear.
And you'll notice that all of the sites are a special gray background. That means that they are naval sites, and what makes them different than ground sites is there tends to be fewer of them, but they're more powerful with longer ranges. So you're going to have to fly through a barrage of flak before getting to your carrier.
With me, I have 4 F4F Wildcats, mostly to take on the bandits. I have 2 torpedo bombers, as well as 2 dive bombers.
And let's hope the Devastators do a little bit better here than they did historically at Midway.
Yeah. So we start off. My guys can attack anybody in their area. There's no one in their area. Now the sites can shoot at us. We have a range 1 site, can't hit us. Another range 1 site, he'll be able to hit us when we approach any of these areas. And a third range 1 site, he'll be a problem once we get over target. But for right now, nobody can shoot at us. So I move my aircraft.
One of the differences here in World War II, because aircraft didn't climb or dive nearly as quickly as they do in modern day jets, is when you select an altitude in Corsair Leader, your aircraft have to stay at that altitude. The only exception is dive bombers, which have to begin at high altitude and then during their dive runs dive to low altitude. So what Kevin has set up here is he has his Devastators coming in at low because they have to be at low to drop torpedoes. His Dauntlesses are coming in at high in order to start their dive bombing runs.
Next, the bandits move. I have escorts and bombers. If I have escorts that are not engaged with a bandit, I get to select which bandits engage with which escorts. If I don't have any free escorts or no escorts at all, the bandits will go up against the bombers and will wreak some serious havoc. I've put this veteran bandit up with my skilled F4F, and I'm going to put this average bandit up against my green F4F.
One of the things that we're going to feature in this video is the dogfight system, and it's kind of hard to show you the actual chart here because of the camera. But if you look at the Kickstarter page, there's a full-size graphic, so you'll be able to reference the numbers and the effects as we go through them.
So, everyone performed their move step. Now, it's top of turn 2. This fleet carrier has the 2 bandits trait, which means that we're going to draw 2 A6M2 bandits. Whether they are no bandit or a bandit showing up, we're going to get 2 of them. So, first bandit didn't quite get in the air, second bandit did, and now we begin turn 2.
So it looks like they see us coming and they're starting to get some fighters off the deck.
We're going to resolve this bandit engagement first. The bandits go first unless if the pilot is fast. This bandit has a +1 air-to-air modifier because he's average. Roberts has a +0 because he's only green. The bandit's going to roll on the chart based on him being neutral with Roberts. He rolls an 8, a pretty aggressive move. An 8 on the chart is him attempting to do a half loop. Now half loops have some high risk but some high reward. So now we roll again. We're going to roll whatever the die roll is, we're going to add 1 to the result and then subtract 0 from the result because of Robert's air-to-air modifier. So it's going to overall get a +1. He gets a 10. +1 is 11. He gets +4 position changes, +1 on his attack. Robert does 1 position, 2 position, and the other 2 just bleed through, +1 on the attack.
So because of those 2 positioning changes, instead of being neutral, Roberts is now being tailed, which means that the bandit gets +3 on his attack roll, +1 more because of his air-to-air skill, +1 more even because of his excellent half loop. So Roberts is in some pretty serious bad shape right now.
So, the first thing that I'm going to do before the bandit rolls for the attack is any unengaged escorts can perform a suppress to try to cancel the attack. We have Freeman over here, which has a +0 ATA. He can roll. If he rolls an 8 or higher, he'll perform a successful gun attack. He gets an 8 +0 -1 because this bandit has a +1 air-to-air modifier. So Freeman, for the cost of a single stress, can perform a suppression. Freeman rolled a 6, not good enough.
He needed a 9.
Next, I'm going to have Roberts go evasive. Now, evasive is going to cost him a single stress, but the bandit's going to roll twice, and I get to choose the roll that's lower for it to actually affect me. So, the 10 result we're going to get rid of. We have the 3. Now, the 3 +3 because of the attack, because he's tailed, so up to a 6, +1 because of the half loop, up to a 7, +1 more because of the bandit's +1 air-to-air modifier means that 3 is actually an 8 because that bandit did such a good maneuvering job. An 8 is high enough to destroy Roberts. Roberts' plane has been completely destroyed. Now,
Not a good start for cap fighter or escort fighters.
yeah. Now, this bandit is going to become engaged to someone. We're going to engage him on Freeman. Now again, if I didn't have any escorts, this bandit would be randomly assigned to one of these bombers and start shooting at them. Next, we're going to handle the veteran A6M2 against my skilled Jenkins. He is going to roll a die to see what maneuvering attempt he's going to try. A 7, that's a yo-yo. He's then going to roll again. He has a +2, but Jenkins has a +1, which means he only gets +1 on this maneuvering roll. He gets a 3 up to a 4. A 4 with a yo-yo is -1 attack. So no positioning changes occur, and he gets -1 on the roll. He tried to do something real risky, and it didn't pull off. So, for his attack roll, I'm going to have... he's not going to try to perform any suppress. Jenkins is just going to try to bob and weave, and he's going to go evasive. So, we're going to roll 2 dice. The bandit is at a +2, +1 due to Jenkins +1, +0 because he performed a poor yo-yo. So he's just at base die roll now. Alright, a 9, really bad, I'd be destroyed. A 4, I'm fine. Alright, now we have sights attack. Now this 1-inch gun can only fire at low. Currently I have Graneman at low, Powell and Perry at low.
And then a stress for the guy who just evaded.
Jenkins gets a stress. We're going to roll on a low, medium, high on who he's going to target. Low. He's targeting Graneman. That's kind of why I put the newbie F4F down there, so that way he could possibly draw some fire. This is good. Graneman only has a 2 stress cap, so we're not going to go evasive. We're just going to roll, hope that he doesn't roll a 9 or higher. A 7. So he rolled a 6, 7, 8, so that means that he's going to damage Graneman. Graneman gets the damaged counter on him.
As well as 2 stress. Now, one of the things that's different here in World War II, as opposed to modern day, the planes didn't fly as fast and they were built a little bit more ruggedly, which means that when you get damaged in World War II, unlike modern day, you don't have to jettison your weapons. You can continue in the fight having taken the stress. The only effect that it has is if you get damaged a second time, then you are immediately destroyed. But Granneman here is still good to go with his 2 stress.
Yeah.
But his plane's a little shaky.
Next, we're going to have this 4-inch gun. This 4-inch gun packs a wallop. It stresses you on a 0, damages on a 6, destroys on a 7. This thing is bad. It has a range 1, which means, and it can fire at low and high, which means any of my planes are susceptible to its fire. I'm going to roll a die to see if I roll a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and re-roll on a 9 or 10. A 7. He's targeting Hull. This is kind of a problem, but we'll see this through. We're going to roll for his attack. A 10. Ooh, this is bad. Hull is going to be destroyed. Hull's one of my average dive bombers, plus he's carrying a Mark 83, and we want him safe. Thankfully, Hull has a gung-ho. Now, gung-ho is new to Corsair, and Dan will tell you a little more about what gung-ho can do, but in this case, I can take a destroyed result and turn it to no effect by using my gung-ho.
What gung-ho is that spirit of World War II of getting the job done, team spirit, keep going at any cost. And as a result, you can use a gung-ho offensively. Instead of rolling, you can just declare the die roll to be a 10, or you can also expend it after being shaken, damaged, or destroyed to convert that result into a no effect, which is what Kevin just did in order to save Hull from the flak.
And then we have one more sight. This 5-inch gun, he's going to roll a 9, roll that. A 1, he's targeting Granneman. Granneman's not having a great day.
Evade it, Granneman, evade!
I'll have Granneman evade. This now puts him at shaken, so all of his stats are reduced, but again, he's just there to get shot at, so everything's okay. A 3-7, the 7 would have him destroyed. The 3 just means he gets 1 more stress.
Okay, so he's up to 4.
Which now means that he is unfit. He is past his shaken point. All he can do is move. He can't attack or suppress or anything else like that. Alright, now it's my turn for some payback. We're going to have Freeman over here with the +0 versus the +1, using my blue dice because I'm attacking. Freeman is going to perform a tight turn. Tight turn's a very safe maneuver, and after all these die rolls I've been hit with, I want to play it a little safe. Freeman gets a 3 result, -1 because of the bandits +1 ATA, down to a 2. A 2 result is no effect. It kind of sucks, but I'm glad that I didn't try anything more aggressive. After performing the maneuvering, I can then perform an attack. Freeman hits on an 8, +0, still an 8, -1 because of the bandit, so now he's at a 9. He gets a single die roll of a 9. A 7, not quite, so nothing happens in that attack. Next, we're going to go for the more deadly attack. We have Jenkins with a +1 versus a veteran A6M2 with a +2. I'm going to try something a little risky here. I'm going to go for a yo-yo. Now I'm going to get -1 on my roll because the bandit has a +1 ATA over me, but I'm going to hope I roll high. A 6, alright. A 6 would be +1 position, +1 attack, which would be a great area, but -1 due to the bandit's ATA is -1 attack, so I just get a single roll of a 10. A 5, not good enough. Alright, now Granneman would be able to attack one of the bandits, just fire an unengaged shot. However, because he is unfit, he is not doing anything except holding his joystick, and it's not good for him. So, it's the end of the turn now. We're going to move everyone in.
And this is where Kevin's going to probably suffer a fair amount of flack, because at this point he's just entered the range of all of those range 1 sites surrounding the carrier, so this could get exciting.
And then the carrier is going to send up 2 more bandits. 2 no bandits.
Awesome.
Very lucky. Bombers getting hit by bandits is very, very bad. Alright. Now we start off turn 3. This is the turn that's going to hurt. But if I can pull through this, the fleet carrier's going down. So at the beginning of the turn, I can turn any dive bombers from high altitude to low altitude.
And he does that automatically as they begin their bomb runs.
All right, so we're going to start off here. This is just going to be bad for Granneman. Granneman currently has a -2 ATA, which means that there's a 3-point difference between this A6M2 and him. Bandits maneuvering a 1. This is good. The bandit's playing it cautious. A 10 brought up to a 13, which means that the bandit gets +1 position, +1 attack. Unfortunately, I don't have anybody available to suppress for him. Granneman can't perform any evades as he's unfit right now, so he's entirely at the whim of the dice whether or not he's going to go down in flames. We got a 6, +1 due to the tight turn 7, +1 due to the bandit's ATA is an 8, 9, 10, because Granneman's at a -2 right now. Granneman is destroyed. Now this bandit is going to become engaged on one of the bombers. The bandit's already taken his turn. If we were to take future turns, the bandit could start shooting at the bombers. Next, we have this Freeman versus A6M2. A6M2 is rolling. He rolls a 4, 3. So a 4 means he's going to perform a tight turn. A 3 brought up to a 4 means it's still no effect. Freeman is going to go evasive, because I don't want anybody else to die this mission. A single roll of an 8. Oh, 8, 9. This is really, really bad. 8 and 9 both are destroyed results. Freeman as well goes down. This fleet carrier mission was vital, but we're losing a lot of guys here. And normally I'd roll for where these bandits get allocated to for any non-escorts, but I'm just placing them because they're not going to attack again. A6M2 on Jenkins. We got a 6, and then with a +1, a 1, 2. Oh, this is pretty good. He rolled a yo-yo, but with a 1, he gets -1 position. So actually in his attack, he lost a position, which means he now doesn't get to shoot at me. This is really, really good. Okay, now here's the part that's going to hurt. We have a sight, a range 1 sight that's going to shoot in, and another range 1 sight that's going to shoot in. If I can make it through all of this flak and drop my bombs, we're all going home. So, we have our 1-inch gun targeting, who's not dead. Yeah, you three are dead. We have Jenkins, Perry, Powell, Hall, and Lee. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 for the first gun. 3, targeting Perry. Perry's going to go evasive because we do not need Perry getting damaged or destroyed here. 2 dice, a 5, 7. The 7 would have damaged him, but the 5 is just almost close to damage, but not quite. He takes a single stress. Let's flip that over. All right, now the hurtin' sights. We got this sight, again, rolling 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Hitting Powell, we have to go evasive here. This guy, if he gets a shot off and hits you, it's going to be real bad. 8, 6. Ooh, not enough. The 8, we're going to take the 6, but the 6 is just at the cusp of destroying. Powell goes down. All right. We're down to half the fighters we started this with. We still got 2 more sights. This sight shooting in 2, 4, 6, 8. We'll reroll 9s and 10s. Hitting Lee. Lee's going to try to go evasive here. Ha! Great. We're taking the 2. He just takes a single stress. He's still doing good. We then have the final sight. He is targeting Perry again. We're going to take the stress off you. 3, 8. 8 would be a destroy. 3, he just takes 1 more stress. He's at 4 stress, so he's at the edge of okay. He's not shaken, though, which is important. We've now taken all incoming fighters and incoming flak. Now it's time to do what we came here to do.
Stay on target.
We have Perry dropping a torpedo. He's been flying it low, skimming the waves this whole time. He has +2 on his air to ground, and torpedoes start by doing 2 damage if you can roll a 5 or higher. We're going to roll for Perry. Here we go. We get a 9. 9 +2, 11. This single torpedo does 4 points of damage to the target.
Awesome. Looks like an engine room hit or maybe a magazine.
Next, we're going to have Hall. Hall normally has +1 on his ATG, but if he dives beforehand and he's targeting a naval target, he gets +3 on his roll. So Hall is actually at +4. 6 brought up to a 10, 3 damage, the fleet carrier is sunk, and Lee gets to return home with his Mark 83.
Awesome.
This has been a look at how the missions work, how the dogfighting works. The fleet carrier is a huge target, of course vitally important in the Battle of Midway, and I took a lot of pilot losses, so tomorrow is going to be really difficult to recuperate from.
And we'll do search and rescues for the 4 downed pilots. Any pilots that don't make it through will be replaced with newbies, and that's going to be a major blow to the campaign, but the target was destroyed, which is worth
5 victory points and 2 additional victory points because of the campaign note, plus this is a gung-ho target, which means because I successfully destroyed the target, any and all pilots that used gung-ho get it back. Some pilots have 1 gung-ho, some have 2, and even some legendary guys have up to 3. Had I used all my gung-hos against the fleet carrier, I can replenish all of them because all my guys are happy we destroyed a Japanese ship.
And that wraps up the mission. Thank you very much for watching.
Thank you.